Hi, my name's Jonathan Hicks, and this evening I'm joined by
Mark.
Steve.
And we've just finished playing Ra, which is an auction game, effectively, by Reiner, Knizia. And when it's your turn, there's three things you can do. So you can draw a tile out of this bag, and you're adding them to this selection here. So the number of tiles that you can potentially bid on later in the game keeps increasing and increasing. And then it would be, say, Mark's turn, and he would draw a tile out of the bag. And, oh, that's great, there's more stuff to get. But at some point, if you want to, you can take this and call Ra, which calls an auction. Or you might draw, if I can find one in here we go, a Ra tile. If you draw this, this forces an auction to happen. And they kind of fill up along the top here. And when an auction happens, you've got these tokens in front of you, and you pick one of them to bid with if you want to bid. So you don't have to bid, but if I'm going to bid, I might say I'm going to bid with my 5. And then Mark would look at his tokens and decide what he wants to bid with, and Steve could bid or not bid. And whoever bids the highest wins. And then we get all these tokens, and you're going to score points for getting these. You can see I've got amassed quite a few as we've gone through the game here. But then the token you bid with goes in the middle, and you also take this token and put it face down in your play area. Now, for the second round, after you've all bid and used up all your tokens, these are going to be your tokens for the next round. So this is pretty bad because I'm going to have a 1 in the next round. Another thing you can do on your turn is if you've got a god tile, see Steve had a few of these, you can kind of swap these. So if a particularly valuable tokens comes out, you can sort of say, I'm going to swap this and take that, which can be quite handy. But effectively you're going to keep drawing until these Ra tiles fill up this space. When that last Ra tile comes out, it instantly ends the game. You don't get an auction for the last set of things, you just stop. And you score points according to the kind of tiles you've got. So you get 2 points for every yellow god tile. Whoever has the most pharaohs gets 5 points, and whoever has the fewest loses 2 points. You get points for rivers, but you need to have a flood. You can see I've got lots of rivers, but Mark here had a flood. So he's scoring points for each of his rivers, but I'm not going to get any because I wasn't able to flood them. You need civilizations. You lose points if you don't have one of these tiles, but you get points if you've got several that are different ones. And you get a few extra points for gold and stuff. And you play that over 3 rounds of sort of bidding and scoring. And at the end of the final round, you also score all of your monuments. And effectively, you're getting points for having lots of different ones and sets of the same as well. Whoever has the most points at the end is the winner. What do we think?
Yeah, it's a nice, simple auction game that works pretty well. The push you look on the Ra tiles come out, it's fun because you do bid early. To make sure you get stuff, because a lot of time you end up just not bidding because you've been pushed out of the game by the natural clock within it. I think the bit that makes it most interesting to me, though, is the fact that because you're also bidding for what you will then have the power to bid with on the next epoch, it just adds another dimension to the game to make it more interesting than just a bidding, because you have to think about that as well.
Okay, Steve?
Yeah, I agree with what Mark says there. That tile in the middle kind of adds to the pool of things you're bidding on. So if there's a 13 in the middle, yeah, I really want to bid on that because although it might not be very good, if I win it, I will have the 13 next time, which will allow me to win whatever I want to win. I had the 13 for most of the game, but you get to this point as well where I think, brilliant, I've got 13, I can win everything. I'm just going to keep adding cards to it. But then when other people calling auctions, I wasn't bidding last. Now, bidding last is a huge advantage. If I've got 13 and the 10, if I'm bidding last, most of the time I'm going to get away with being able to use the 10. But if I'm not bidding last, if I use a 10, I can get outbid a bit, or other people force me to use a 13, so that's really nice. These disaster cards as well, to stop the person with the lowest numbers just always calling an auction, because if you call an auction you have to bid, and the disaster cards kind of wipe away other things you've already got, which is quite nice. And some of the powerful tiles you can get that stop you losing points or gain you points, you lose from round to round. You keep most of your tiles, but for example those flood tiles, you lose from round to round, so those flood tiles become very important if a lot of them have already gone, yeah.
Rating?
First time I've played it, I've really enjoyed it. 8 out of 10 for me.
Okay.
I'd give it 7.
Yeah, I really like it. I've owned this game for quite a long time now, and I've played it many times and really enjoy it every time I play it. It's nice and light, it's very simple to explain, but there is some interesting decisions you've got to make as you go through, like the guys were talking about. You can see maybe there's a big number in the middle, but if you spend too much time just going for those big numbers, you just don't get enough tiles. You do need to get tiles at the end of the day. And thinking about collecting the different sets, it's like, how valuable is this? Deciding when you're going to call Ra, because it might be that there's not a lot in the middle there, and you call the Ra to kind of force someone else to bid, because you can see they really need something. And I like the whole push your luck element as the Ra tiles keep being drawn. When that final Ra tile comes out, it just ends. You get nothing. So it's like, do I want to keep going, or keep going, and risking drawing that final Ra tile? So lots to like. A nice, simple package. I think I'd be on an 8 out of 10. All right, thanks for watching. That was Ra.